So, we've got a new contender. Sorry for whatever the hell this is. Let me see if I can get rid of it. We've got a new contender for the craziest fucking headline you've ever seen. And I'm going to get to that once I figure out how to solve this giant light on the wall problem we seem to be having. But, yeah, I was just kind of trawling, doing anything I could except for work, procrastinating at my desk in the morning. And then I came across this statement from the Istanbul Chief Public Prosecutor's Office after Ibrahim Hashimoglu's press conference. That's my best attempt at that. You're not going to get another one. Okay? And this guy holds a press conference and says, just straight-faced, with a couple of glasses of water and a nice wine glass next to him here, that the Turkish Football Federation president, sorry, I'm just digesting this myself. So the president of the Turkish Football Federation is this guy, Ibrahim Hashimoglu. I said I wasn't going to try it again, but I did one more time. He said in a press conference that was then followed by the Chief Public Prosecutor's Office, they spoke afterwards. He said, the president of the Federation, that 371 of the 571 active referees in professional leagues, so we're not talking about Sunday league, amateurs, whatever, have betting accounts. 152 of them actively bet. Now, that's the craziest headline I may have ever read in my efforts to make videos on this channel about random shit happening in the world of football. This is the president of the Turkish Football Federation saying that over half of the active referees in professional leagues have betting accounts, and that, over 1 in 5 actively bet on matches. End quote. This is translated from Turkish. I can't imagine that the translation would be that wrong. It is mind-boggling to me. This is obviously just talking about stuff in Turkish football. Now, the reason that the Chief Public Prosecutor's Office followed this up is because they were announcing an investigation that had been launched a few months ago into referees involving betting. But look, you can't just say this. You can't, because it's unbelievable. There needs to be more buildup to this. There needs to be a series of scandals before this. There needs to be something to prepare me physically and emotionally for the fact that you're about to say that significantly over half of the referees in Turkey have betting accounts that have apparently been found. 571 active referees in professional leagues in Turkey, 371 of them have betting accounts. I need more. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, well, there have been scandals in Turkey, right? There have been allegations from Fenerbahce nearly left the Turkish league at one point. We've had a ref's jaw getting broken on the field. We've had fans storming the field to the point that the players had to defend themselves with corner flags and then, escape. We've had teams leaving the field before the end of the 90 minutes in protest of referee decisions. Honestly, if I'm one of those dudes, you should never just show up and break a guy's jaw. That's assault. That's against the law, typically, right? But outside of that, the reaction's kind of justified here. This is a justification for all of it, right? This is the same as all those people that have been hunting Bigfoot on the History Channel. It's like if Bigfoot was actually discovered. Some Appalachian dude's wandering through the hills like, I'm going to find him this time. And then he just fucking finds him. You turn the corner and Bigfoot is standing right there in front of you. They've been looking at straw men in the Turkish league for a long time, different club owners and whatever. And now all of a sudden they turn the corner and, I'll be damned, it's Bigfoot. Boom. The refs are betting. Apparently, all of them are betting. 371 of 571 have betting accounts that you're able to be traced to them, while 152 are actively betting. That means pretty good odds that at least one of the 4 officials in every single match that you've got going is actively betting. Obviously, there is a difference between betting on the matches you're officiating and just betting in general. I'm aware that gambling is at least a soft addiction for a lot of people. Right, and so maybe they're just betting on matches that they're not working. But to be perfectly honest, if we are over here living in a world where it is totally normal and acceptable for referees to get banned from refereeing matches with Inter Miami because they at one point posted a picture wearing a Lionel Messi jersey. What's the acceptable response to this? Banishment? Old school Roman Empire type banishment. Put them on an island somewhere. I mean, seriously, how do you deal with this? And why are they announcing it now? I have no real idea. Mr. Hashimanoglu stated that they had determined through their work with state institutions that some referees working in professional leagues were betting and that necessary steps were being taken in this regard and the penalties would be imposed upon referrals to the disciplinary board. We get to the quotes. We are ushering in a new era of Turkish football. This isn't something we can do alone. If we strive in this together with the entire football family, we will carry Turkish football to a brighter future. Republic Day is approaching. I'm assuming this is 4th of July in Turkey. I congratulate you in advance. I've used this phrase. Sorry, there was honking. I've used this phrase many times alongside the words, the great leader Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, shout out. I like athletes who are intelligent, agile, and moral. There's no such thing as immorality in those who fall outside of this. We must be moral in all our facets. Love dropping an Ataturk quote in here. For months, we've been working with state institutions, and those who've been managing the clubs for years have outlined the reasons for the deterioration of Turkish football, as mentioned by the sports veterans. We have a famous proverb, when weapons are used, honor is corrupted. After the issue, which has been discussed for years, emerged, we debated the extent of the corruption and immorality, and so we set out on this journey, starting with ourselves as a federation, working with the institutions. I mean, that obviously, I gave you the full quote there. That echoes the right message. It makes it sound at least like this Hashimanoglu guy is going to attempt to do the right thing here. That he is going to attempt to fix Turkish football, which has been obviously and has incredible potential, by the way. There are a lot of people and a lot of money and a lot of football fandom there is a lot of money and a lot of football fandom in Turkey. Okay, and there are big historic clubs that already have talented players on them. But imagine what they'd be capable of doing. Imagine the types of players they'd be capable of signing and developing if the league didn't have crazy shit happening in it all the time. Dude, look at this pulled quote. It has been determined that a referee placed a bet 18,227 times on his own. That's insane. He continued. Okay, so this is the point of the actual press conference in a way here. Boiled down in this statement. Today I will share some data that truly needs to change in Turkish football to ensure a moral order. As a result of our work, we've begun to establish clean and ethical Turkish football with the referee community, which is both the apple of the football's eye and its pain point. Based on the data we have received from government agencies and the work of our colleagues, that's when he announces the number. I mean, this is crazy. They've got all of the information. 36 upper division referees and 94 upper division referee assistants. Of those, a total of 10 referees have placed over 10,000 bets. I mean, they got them all. They totally know exactly who these people are. They said, let's not look down on those with betting accounts, though. So I don't know what you do here. I genuinely, the more I think about this and the more I read this, I genuinely don't know what you do. According to our instructions, there is a 5-year statute of limitations. The figures I've listed are those within the 5-year period. Yo! 18,000 bets in 5 years. But this was basically an announcement that the disciplinary committee was going to initiate necessary procedures. This was a sting. I doubt most of these referees even knew this was coming. They put all this together in silence or in secret and then just dropped this absolute nuke on their referee community. I think what they're going to try and do is, especially for the people that have betting accounts but haven't bet, is they're going to do some sort of education program and be like, look, you can't have these betting accounts. We know you didn't actively bet, but because you can't just get rid of 65, 70% of your referees overnight and still be able to run your league. You're not going to be able to train up people to do that. Now, obviously, Mr. 18,000 bets over here is probably done. And you want to remove those guys that have clearly bet such a ridiculous number of times, the over 10,000 guys or whatever. But I think that there's going to be levels to this, because as much as when I'm reading this article, you want to parachute in and just go, yeah, get all of these guys out immediately, right? Like clear the board, remove everybody, get them all out of here. As much as you want to do that, you really can't. The league is going on right now. Where are you going to find other referees they're going to be able to effectively officiate these games. You want to remove the worst offenders and try to re-educate and stay on top of the rest of them. This is not an easy task for Hashamanoglu, but I am going to give this dude a ton of credit. This guy's come in. He said he helped clean up the federation and now is trying to address the referees, as he said, their pain point in the Turkish league. And this is Armageddon. This is, day zero of a new Turkish league if they actually manage to pull this off. If all of this is actually true and they manage to get all this in front of the disciplinary committee, right, and remove all of the referees that have been betting, make an example out of them, ban them from being able to officiate professional matches in Turkey or whatever, and then slowly but surely be able to replace those numbers. Well, I guess just paying the other referees more to be able to work more matches. I don't even know how it would work. Logistically, it's going to be a complete nightmare to figure this out. I mean, whoever's coordinating officials for this weekend, he's going to have a hell of a time trying to figure out who's going to be where, who's in a disciplinary committee hearing, who's not. But I genuinely cannot believe these numbers. I don't think it's this bad anywhere else, right? Because clearly Turkey in its football had corruption issues for a while. Many clubs had pointed at this and clearly reacted to it. And there had been a boiling point, but it wasn't pointed necessarily towards referee corruption. It was kind of pointed towards league corruption in a way. But this is above the league. This is the Turkish Federation itself. And I'd be interested to see if it's just the refs or if they are going to actually go at the people that are running the league some point. There are fireworks going off, and Jose Mourinho might have been right.